South Florida. This is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. First, a powerful drug taking a toll on South Florida families. A mom sharing her son's story in hopes of saving lives from a fentanyl crisis. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten takes a closer look at the deadly consequences of the killer drug.
You're such a bad fake picture taker.
Always with a smile and known as a kind soul, Colin Carlson had just turned 19, bought his own condo in Hollywood, and was living the life of a young adult. That's until November 19th of 2020.
It's been just a little over a year, and I don't know, I wake up every day to having to realize that I'm not going to see my son again. So every day I relive his death.
This last year and a half has been painful for Colin's mom, Lily, and his family. Colin died of an overdose after taking fentanyl-laced Xanax that he bought on social media. His mom said the Xanax helped him sleep.
He had 6 nanograms of fentanyl in there, in his system. He had Xanax in his system. So the two nanograms will kill a full-grown adult.
When you think about the amount of fentanyl out in the street, does that keep you up at night?
Yes. Tremendously.
Dave Scharf is the executive director of community programs at the Broward Sheriff's Office. He says what's happening in our neighborhoods with fentanyl is scary.
What we're seeing on the streets of Broward County is fentanyl, or its many analogs, being laced into all the street drugs, from cocaine, methamphetamine, even into marijuana.
Scharf explains why fentanyl is mixed in with drugs in the first place.
If you're a drug dealer and you want to maximize your local street value of your drug, you're going to create as much as you can. So if you have a kilo of cocaine, you cut it with maybe 8-9 ounces of fentanyl, you're expanding that product.
The DEA calling it a crisis, saying last year the United States suffered more fentanyl-related deaths than gun and auto-related deaths combined. Mass overdose incidents are up too. That's where 3 or more people overdose at the same time. It happened in 7 U.S. cities over the past few months, including Wilton Manors, leading to 58 overdoses and 29 deaths. In Wilton Manors, 6 spring breakers were rushed to the hospital in March after exposure to fentanyl. They all survived, and in many of those cases, the DEA says the victims had no idea they were ingesting fentanyl.
Users get a hold of them unknowingly, doing cocaine, methamphetamine, even marijuana, thinking that it's the typical street drug that they've used for many years. Unfortunately, it's been cut with a high level of very dangerous fentanyl analog, and they end up overdosing and dying.
And in cases like Colin's, victims are buying what they think are common drugs off the black market. It's so prevalent that the DEA began a campaign, One Pill Can Kill. We are cracking the code, the common emoji code used when selling fake pills and illegal drugs on social media. Parents should know, for example, if you see a pill next to a chocolate bar, we could be talking about Xanax that's for sale, or a heart that's brown and a dragon could indicate heroin. You can see all of this on our website, CBSMiami.com. Take a closer look to make sure that if you see any of these codes on your kids' or loved ones' phones, you know exactly what you're looking at. Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll continue our in-depth look at the deadly consequences of fentanyl with the survivor's life-altering story and how she overcame addiction. With the future of Roe v. Wade hanging in the balance, abortion rights activists are pushing back. They insist that overturning the landmark case would cause a severe abortion access disparity for minority and impoverished communities. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis shows us what people on both sides of the aisle are saying.
Is a direct attack on Black and brown people, on poor people being able to access abortion care.
Jasmine Rogers, the founder of Folding Chair Consulting, says that if abortion is no longer federally protected by Roe versus Wade, women of color will suffer.
When I was considering childbirth and whether or not I wanted to be a mother, a thing that gave me a lot of anxiety was it's not worth me dying.
Research from Black Mamas Matter Alliance shows that Black women in the United States are between 3 and 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. Rogers says if they criminalize abortion and force Black women to have a child, that could lead to a preventable death.
Pregnancy is more risky than abortion. So forcing someone to undergo a risky medical procedure would not be allowed for any other medical procedure.
Rebecca Brady with Respect Life Ministry for the Archdiocese of Miami says they want to offer women alternatives to abortion.
In the past 12 months, we've seen 29 lives and souls saved when the mothers came to us intending to have an abortion or undecided about their decision to carry this pregnancy to term.
Brady says the majority of women that reach out to them for help are ethnic and racial minorities, typically in underserved populations. The ministry does not support abortion and says they hope to help every woman that walks through their doors.
We offer pregnancy and postpartum counseling. We offer Earn While You Learn classes, mentoring groups for men, material assistance, and information and referrals.
Something Rogers says is helpful but will not cover the 18-plus year commitment of having a child. We know that women from all walks of life may be looking for support but not sure where to turn. We'll have information on how to get in touch with Respect Life Ministries and Jasmine Rogers on our website, cbsmiami.com. In Miami, Trish Kraseka, CBS News, Miami.
Now to our next story. Thousands drive by every day and wonder, what's the story on the abandoned hospital just off I-95 west of the Golden Glades? For years, there have been plans to renovate it. Now, a new owner has spent $11 million for the building and the valuable land it's on. CBS News Miami's Hank Tester reports on what's planned for the highway eyesore.
It is an 11-story eyesore, abandoned since 2002. Aerial views of what folks see heading south on I-95. Graffiti everywhere.
A highway eyesore that's been looming over the Golden Glades interchange for years now has an obscene addition.
What was once the Parkway West Medical Center, for years a graffiti magnet. More than once a crime scene, an attraction for urban explorers. YouTube littered with videos of the interior. And a scene of tragedy. A young man falls to his death in 2020.
That stairwell doesn't have any railings. So if you just are not paying attention, you go straight down.
David Bullitt, photographer, author, has 2 books out on South Florida abandoned structures, has photographed the building interior, ravaged by weather, mold, and illegal scrappers who have stripped anything, everything metal out of the facility.
I think that's a whole tear down. There is no way that place is salvageable.
Over the years, developers' failed plans, multiple ownerships, liens, and code violations have plagued any solution to the building's fate. It's just been sitting there 20 years, rotting.
I took a security guard with me. We went inside. It wasn't as bad as they say, but it was like graffiti everywhere.
Aaron Heimov from the Miami Beach-based Heimov Group often drove by the property, liked what he saw, opportunity. The building has been purchased, liens have been cleared, development strategies being finalized. One strategy for sure, the old hospital will be demolished.
And we're looking to tear it down.
And what are the possibilities for the 3.5-acre prime property? Still evolving plans, possible 20-story hotel, 800 rental apartment tower, and a high-end event ballroom.
There's not really a lot of places in Miami to get married or to do any events, like super nice, super clean, modern. There's not a lot out there.
The news here is the building is going down, something the city of Miami Gardens has wanted for years. The new owners say they're currently negotiating with a demolition company. I'm Hank Tester, CBS 4 News.
When Headliners returns, our show takes us back to the fentanyl crisis and how addiction almost caused one South Florida mother to lose it all.
South Florida. This is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Right now, one woman shares her heart-stopping struggle to overcome addiction. Her story, important to hear at a time when fentanyl deaths are climbing at an alarming rate. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten has more.
I was a heroin addict.
Jessica Vasquez is a mother of 4 who lost it all after she began shooting up heroin at age 30.
I lost my house. I lost my job. I lost custody of my children.
But it would soon get much worse.
We went and purchased a bag, and it was not from our normal guy. And Actually, my boyfriend at the time overdosed, and I called 911, and by the time that I got to the hospital, I was going in and out.
Jessica said she knew that heroin was laced with fentanyl and shot it up anyway. She died that day. A shot of Narcan brought her back.
It was the weirdest feeling because I remember telling myself, remember to breathe. And I couldn't remember. Like, I had to keep telling myself to breathe, and then everything went black.
Did you die?
They say I did. Like, my heart stopped.
You'd think that would have eased heroin and fentanyl's grip on her, but it did not. It got worse, using every day for the next 5 months. It wasn't until December of 2017 when she had had enough.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Jessica was a passenger in this car, high on fentanyl-laced heroin, when that driver took off, dragging a Pembroke Pines officer down the street until that officer finally fell to the road. He survived, and because of that horrendous experience, so did Jessica.
That was my turning point on December 19, 2017. That was the last day that I used.
Jessica went into recovery, gaining sobriety and getting her life back.
I have a home. I was able to get full custody back of my children. This is the Zen Den.
Jessica now works at the South Florida Wellness Network, where she helps others navigate recovery. She also goes onto the street to pass out Narcan. This means something to you.
It does.
Tell me.
It does, because I wouldn't be here without it. I definitely wouldn't be here without it, and it saved my life. People are dying more now than before. I mean, it's just so bad.
Jessica knows that deadly fentanyl epidemic has gotten much worse.
You're not buying Xanax anymore. You're not buying Percocets anymore. You're buying fentanyl that's compressed.
Now she hopes that her story and the countless stories of other survivors will serve as both a warning and an inspiration.
It takes one split second to lose everything, and it takes months and years to get a fraction of it back. And it just gives you so much appreciation for life.
Jessica wants people to know that help is available for those who are ready to make a change. In Miami-Dade and Broward, you can take that first step by simply calling 211. We also have resources available for you on our website, cbsmiami.com. Ted Scouten, CBS News, Miami.
Turning now to the latest on the 2022 hurricane season. It's been 5 years since we had a direct hit here in South Florida. And this season, complacency is what worries officials as the season approaches. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray joins us with what you need to know.
Hey, this is an artist, Phyllis Shipley, that is a well-known floral artist.
Paintings of every style and color line the walls of Piper Steffen's gallery and artist studio.
This is your wall. Yes, I like to paint, and this is some of my work.
Her life a blank canvas after losing everything.
Kept hanging over Cuba, and then all of a sudden it let loose, and it was like, you know, someone punches you in the gut, whatever. That, you know, your house is right in the bullseye.
It was Hurricane Irma 2017, the first Cat 5 hurricane that season. Irma's 180-mile-per-hour winds caused $77 billion worth of damage. It destroyed Piper Steffen's Big Pine Key home.
You see the windows knocked out, the appliances gone, the kitchen gone, just everything gone. It was surreal.
She almost rode out the storm and wishes she had taken pictures and personal items with her.
Unfortunately, we never know exactly where these things are going to end up, and that was our downfall.
Because it's been 5 years since we had a direct hit in South Florida, 17 years since Hurricane Wilma knocked out power for weeks, emergency managers say there's a bit of storm complacency heading into the 2022 hurricane season.
It only takes one. Regardless of the predictions and the accuracy, one severe storm is enough to change everybody's life.
So, Broward Emergency Ops Director Tracy Jackson says at the very least, think about a plan, even if you don't write it down.
Because if you're actually prepared, then you can afford to be relaxed.
Looking back, Piper Steffen says you can never be too prepared. Home is now a condo within walking distance of the beach. She's ready to evacuate when the warning hits.
The roads get packed with people. You can't buy gas. You can't there's nowhere to stay. Hotels get booked up or whatever, and I guess plan ahead if you can.
So everyone needs to work on a plan in South Florida. It involves asking yourself some basic questions like, am I in an evacuation zone? Where will I go if a storm is hitting? Who will I stay with? And what about my pets and if they have medication? As I've been told, it's better to have a plan you never use than the other way around. In Pompano Beach, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
When Headliners returns, we'll share how the Formula One Grand Prix race provided hundreds of hot meals for the homeless.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Formula One may be over, but the event keeps giving. Hundreds of thousands flocked to South Florida to see the Miami Grand Prix, which meant days of fun and pounds of food. Organizers say after crossing the finish line, their next goal was salvaging the leftovers. CBS News Miami's Hank Tester takes a closer look at the massive effort to make sure no food went to waste and who benefited.
Yuki Tsunoda, Danny Ricciardo looks to have made up a place or two from the start.
80,000 plus fans saw Formula One racing spectacular. Millions more on TV. For the Miami tourism economy and image, another Super Bowl-like event tacked on to the calendar. And the day after, the leftovers from all the food venues becoming another benefit for the community.
We are packing it up, putting it on pallets, and direct transferring it to local social service agencies, shelters, and soup kitchens.
Food Rescue USA of South Florida, along with 80 volunteers from one of the race sponsors, AutoNation, packing, wrapping, loading, shipping. Estimates as much as 90,000 pounds of food will reach those in need right here in South Florida.
We really start to empty out the refrigerators. There's tons of produce. There's condiments. It's amazing what never left the kitchen.
It's a feel-good project for the AutoNation employees who could be here for 3 days.
It just warms my heart. You know, I've been a volunteer almost my entire life. I grew up volunteering in South Florida.
Besides some great food for those who will appreciate it, there's an environmental component. Food dumped in landfills produces methane gas. This food rescue short-circuits that issue.
This is fresh produce. These are fruit cups. This is salads. There's prepared food. It's amazing what there is that would normally go into a landfill.
Food Rescue USA organizes these projects after many South Florida events, including the last Miami Super Bowl, which generated 45,000 pounds of food for those in need. I'm Hank Tester, CBS 4 News.
Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here on CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.
South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.